Hi, I'm Megraj Goswami from the 2022 batch. I'll be demonstrating how to install the Flutter software development kit on Linux in this video. It should work on any Linux distribution. I'm on an Arch-based installation right now. I will do a fetch just for the BTW. But I won't be using Pacman for installing Flutter this time. I'll be using the bundle provided on the official Flutter website. I'll extract the bundle and I'll add the location of the the location of the binary directory to the path environment variable. So you'll be able to call the binaries from any directory without like explicitly mentioning the whole path of the binary. Right. So initially there are a few system requirements that you need to satisfy. You should be on Linux. You should have at least 600 MB of free disk space. That's what the Flutter guys recommend. And these tools should be installed. So these should mostly be installed on whatever distro you're using, unless you are on some like very minimal non-standard distribution. But if for whatever reason these aren't installed, just use your package manager to install them. For example, these are all installed for me already. You can check stuff too. Yes. In case anything is missing, just install it using your package manager. That's like apt for Debian and Pacman for Arch and etc. Cool. So next, we're not doing this. We'll be installing Flutter using the installation bundle they have provided on the website. So download this tarball. I've already downloaded it, so I won't do that again. Here, have I downloaded it? Okay. Right, so you need to extract it. Use something like 7z or tar if you have installed. It should be there. And the flags extract purpose file name. Right, this will take a minute, so I'll cut to the part where it's extracted. So it got extracted. Yep. Yes. So here's the binary folder inside the extracted the directory of the directory where you extracted the tarball. You need to link this binary folder. You need to add it to the path environment variable. So it depends on what shell you're using. For example, I'm using ZSH. So if you're using bash, there's a file called .bashrc in your home directory. ZSH has .zshrc. I'm not sure if it's called ZSH or Z. I'll just say ZSH. And fish, there's a shell called fish. If you're using that, then I think it's config.fish. It's inside the .config directory somewhere. So based on what shell you're using, look it up. Most probably you'll be using bash or Z. So just just add the path of the Flutter the binary directory to the path environment variable. So I will go to ZSSRC, right, and there will be something like export path equals something something. You can directly add the the location path at the end, or you could also, like, if you don't want to mess with the current path or whatever, just do another export path equals, and then in quotes you have to follow this format. So the $ path, that calls the path environment variable once again inside the newly declared path environment variable. Then you will want to add a colon, and after that just add the path of the binary directory like this. So once again there will be a already existing path environment variable. You could add the colon and the path directly at the end, or just to export path equals to, and then in quotes $path, that will call the already existing path in the to be declared path variable, and add a colon to separate the different sub paths inside the path variable, and then add the directory of the path at the location of the binary directory inside the Flutter directory, the one which you just extracted. Right. Okay. Okay. This is simple. I am making it sound complicated because I can't speak, but this is simple. You'll be able to do it. And just after doing that, just source the RC file. If you're using bash, then just source.bash rc, and I'll do this. You just check if the path has been, yeah, it's updated. See here. Cool. Now just to check if the path environment variable has been set up correctly, and it's like allowing us to call the binaries inside the /bin flutter /bin folder from anywhere. I'll do flutter .v from my home directory. This is basically a command to check if the Flutter stuff is set up properly, the things you need to have to work with Flutter, like Android Studio, Chrome, Chromium instance, and stuff like that. Right. So Flutter -v verbal, it shows the stuff that is okay and the stuff which is not okay. So it's missing the Android SDK, so I go to located, and that's totally because I removed the SDK folder for making this video, and not because I wanted to free up space. And I didn't notice that I removed the Android SDK folder. Yeah, totally not the reason. Cool. So I will open Android Studio, and okay, so for installing Android Studio, you will have to follow your distros. Like, you need to know what package manager this distro uses. So for example, I'm on Arch. The Android Studio package is not on the official repositories, I believe it's on AUR, so I'll use CA Android Studio. Yep, it's already installed, it's on AUR. So install it using your package manager, systems package manager, and once it's installed, on the first run, if there's no Android SDK, it will show you that hey, there's no Android SDK. So do you want to install them next? It'll take 492 MB, and I have ample disk space, so I'll just go next. Review settings, show next. Okay, license agreement. Yeah, I'm totally reading through all of these. Finish. Cool, seems like it got installed. Finish. Yep, and I'll do flutter -v again. So you also need the command line tools. Go to settings. Where's settings? Yep. Go to SDK tools, and make sure that these stuff this is installed, like the build tools and the command line tool. So select this and apply. Right, sure. Alright, I forgot to mention, I might have cut the video in between. You have to open Android Studio, and then you'll be able to see this like proper menu and stuff. And from there you have to go to File, Settings, then you'll get this. Go to Languages and Frameworks, Android SDK tools, and you'll be able to install the required stuff. The stuff required by the stuff that Flutter Doctor says is missing. Cool, so that is done. Finish. We'll run Flutter Doctor once again. Yeah, cool, it's almost green. To accept licenses, run Flutter Doctor --Android -licenses. Review licenses that have not been accepted. Sure. I mean, read it if you want to, and just accept it. Accept. By default, if you just press enter, it will input M. The thing that's capitalized, that's what is entered by default. So just type Y, can be capital Y, can be just small y, and press enter. Cool, so that should be it. Run Flutter Doctor V again just to make extra sure. Everything should be green. Cool, no issues found. So that means Flutter is set up. Now you can set up an ID, like you can use either Android Studio or VS Code. I prefer VS Code or VS Code. Once you open it, yeah. There are extensions on the VS Code marketplace for Flutter and Dart. So just install those and you should be good to go to work in Flutter. You can set up an emulator too, but I'd recommend using a physical device because emulators do take up quite a bit of resources. So to do that, just enable USB debugging on your Android phone, connect it with a cable, and once you run your Flutter app, you'll be able to select on which device you want to run it and select your physical device. There'll be a pop-up to authorize your computer to run code, install packages on your phone. Basically, you're giving a debugging permissions. Accept that, and you should be good to go. Right, so the extension. Okay. Yeah. So it's getting updated, I guess. There's the Dart extension and Flutter extension. Just install these, and provides Flutter like tooling and stuff, which is pretty important for Flutter development, like quick Flutter development, and it's pretty useful. So install the Flutter and Dart extensions, or you could go with Android Studio if you want. It also has the Flutter and Dart extensions separately, and cool, that's it. Bye.